Are you serious? Are you serious, guys? We are getting information of things that are happening right now that are significant, especially when you're studying biblical prophecy. And that's when the sea and the waves are roaring. It's one of the things Jesus said would happen in the end times. I'll tell you about that in just a second, because first of all, we have bhmd1.com/Paul. That's bhmd1.com/Paul. We've been told our whole lives that wrinkle creams were the easiest way to look younger. But now one doctor says that's nothing but old news. According to Dr. John Lakey, the world-renowned Beverly Hills beauty expert, that most wrinkle fixes on the market are nothing but glorified moisturizers. Matter of fact, they hardly make a dent on your appearance. Some are even harmful to your skin. But recently, Dr. John Lakey has focused his attention away from the mainstream cosmetic practices. Why? So that he can pursue a revolutionary anti-aging breakthrough, one that some experts say will empty the wallets of the cosmetic industry. It's almost like photoshopping your face. What? You may even be mad after you see how easy it is to visibly erase your wrinkles from view. According to Dr. Lakey, his personal clients have dubbed his new do-it-yourself technique the Age Rewinder because it can take years, maybe decades, off your appearance in 2 minutes. What? These are miraculous. In light of this amazing breakthrough, Dr. John Lakey has released a step-by-step video. That's why I want you to click on that link below this video. He released it to the public. It's free. It's uninterrupted, where he outlines exactly how to use this simple solution from home. If this helps just one person look younger and feel more confident, I'll be thrilled, said Dr. Lakey. This video, guys, has gone viral. It's been seen now over 4 million times. You need to click on the link below the video. Go to bhmd1.com/Paul. That's bhmd1.com/Paul. Find out how this can change your life. One viewer said, it's the best results of anything I've ever used. I can't believe how well this works. I'll never stop using this. I don't understand how it works, but the results are great. Thank you. Guys, seriously, check it out. You'll be glad that you did. All right, now you guys all know that we're only 4 days away from warning, planet Earth. What? Warning, planet Earth. This webinar is of biblical proportion, and it is this coming Friday, August the 29th at 6 p.m. That's when we will release to you your personal link to watch this great webinar. All you got to do is go to my website right now and get your ticket. Go get your ticket. Don't miss it. Get the ticket, okay? Or pick up the phone and call right now. 765-414-2230. That's 765-414-2230. Guys, it's incredible. Standeo, Gil Brazard, Agent X, Mike from Around the World, BP Earthwatch, Avi Loeb, Pastor Paul Begley with the map and the full understanding of this incredible map that has never been released, and BC Begley, a powerful documentary on warning planet Earth. Guys, don't miss it. Now, here's what's happening. I said that to say this, that the sea and the waves are roaring. There's a couple things. Hurricane Aaron is still going, but it's not a threat to the United States. It's going on out to the North Atlantic, and it's going to make its way headed maybe even to Europe. Behind it was another storm called Fernand. Fernand is not going to be a problem. It is a tropical storm. It is swirling around out there close to Bermuda, but it's already hooking a big right, and it's going to go also into the cooler waters of the North Atlantic, and it's not going to be a problem for the United States. So we have dodged the first two. Now there's another storm that has just formed, and it's in the Caribbean region right now, but it does not seem to be as if it's going to organize. It is now starting to disorganize. It has not got a name. It has never come to tropical storm level. and it's disorganizing. And if things stay the way they are, it will just kind of be stormy weather and sea. But the seas and the waves are roaring. And this is significant because Jesus said in Luke 21, in verses 25 through 28, he said, there shall be signs in the sun and in the moon and in the stars, and distress of nations with perplexity. The sea, the waves are roaring. Now, here's where the big news is. So we know the Atlantic is roaring, but the big news is the typhoon. This typhoon is of biblical proportion. It has slammed into Vietnam this morning with winds that 133 kilometers an hour. The typhoon made landfall in Vietnam today, battering the country's coastal province, and Vietnamese authorities have said it could be the most powerful typhoon to hit Vietnam in 30 years. And because that 30 years ago when that typhoon hit, it killed that when a typhoon hit Vietnam last year, it killed 300 people. This one is even stronger than anything that's hit them. That's why the storm has so intensity. Its wind, its speed, its high waves, and close to 600,000 people now have been ordered to leave their homes all along the coastal province of the area. And that's incredible. And so flights have been suspended at 2 major airports in central region, along with some of the train services. Meanwhile, road travel has been suspended. I don't know how people are supposed to evacuate if they can't drive a car, but or there's no trains. And Vietnam isn't the only country though facing this typhoon, which earlier skirted past China inland and brought heavy rain and strong winds. The sea, the waves were roaring to southern China. But authorities in Thailand have also sent weather warnings to 58 of their provinces as this typhoon approaches their country. There have been warnings of flash floods, runoffs, landslides, massive flooding, and devastating tides, strong winds. This could be a massive killer in Thailand. And as well as existing alerts in Vietnam and Thailand, this typhoon did cause significant flooding in coastal China. The government of Thailand warns of these flash floods, landslides, mudslides, runoffs, and intense flooding. It warns that these strong winds will create very mean waves in the upper Andaman Sea and in the upper Gulf of Thailand, which are forecasted to be as much as 10 foot high. It adds that the rapid response units and disaster relief task force must also be prepared for immediate operations. Okay? Now, there's a difference, guys, between hurricanes, cyclones, and typhoons. But they vary in name, okay? But they're all storms of the ocean. They're all the same weather systems, featuring strong winds, heavy rains, massive thunder, lightning storms, storm surges of water, and they have an eye in the center of them. Hurricanes are tropical storms that form in the North Atlantic and Northeast Pacific Oceans. Cyclones are formed in the South Pacific and Indian Oceans, and typhoons form in the Northwest Pacific Ocean. And that's why they have 3 different names, but they're actually very similar storms and can create massive damage, as we know. And so we're watching very close. I've seen some of the video captured about the wind and the rain that's hit in China, but Vietnam is being really wrecked right now, and maybe the worst of the storm is headed toward Thailand. And so we're going to continue to pray for everyone in these regions. In the name of Jesus, we're going to pray for everybody in these regions. It is extraordinary to see what the wind and the sea, how the sea and the waves are roaring which is part of biblical prophecy. Meanwhile, we have other breaking news going on. And that is President Donald Trump just held a press conference. Really, we just had a bunch of people in his office in which he said, we call us the Defense Department, the Department of Defense. But he said, really, back in World War II days, it was called the Department of War. The Department of War, not Department of Defense, but the Department of War. He goes, that's back when we won wars. Now we're in defense mode. And he says, I think maybe we should go back to the Department of War, the War Department. I don't know. Maybe he's going to rename that. He's already renamed the Gulf of America. So I don't know. We'll see. But that's some things that are going on right now. The National Guard that is in Washington, D.C., there's guardsmen that have come in from several different states that have been sent into Washington. And there's been a lot of arrests made in Washington. Quite a few guns have been confiscated. There was a 7-day period where there was no murders in the city of Washington, D.C., which is extraordinarily good to hear. But this is still a very controversial situation, to be honest with you, because it's because, you don't want to be in a police state. We don't want a police state, but we don't want lawlessness either. So you can see that there's a delicate balance here, and we're going to continue to watch how this plays out and how this is orchestrated, whether it could be positive or it winds up being a negative or a little bit of both. And I think it's probably going to end up a little bit of both. But I know one thing, there's some, we have to keep your eye on Venezuela. You really do have to keep your eye on Venezuela, because this communist regime that has just destroyed that country and has seized people's properties, have killed people, have taken people's money from their bank accounts. It's insane, and it's causing that entire nation to be in a state now where it doesn't. I don't even know if the country of Venezuela can ever be rescued from this. I don't know if it can, but it's really a very serious situation that's developing right now. There's no doubt about it. Our prayers are going out. And also, there's a lot of the war between Russia and Ukraine. It is extremely dangerous situation. I said this, that if they didn't get peace, when Trump was bringing everybody together, if he couldn't get people to agree to have peace, then they would part ways and they would escalate the destruction. Just like the Bible says, when they say peace and safety, then sudden destruction. Okay? And we're seeing that. We're seeing that absolutely right before our very eyes. And oh, by the way, while that's going on, while that's all taking place in Israel, in the Holy Land, of course, there's a significant situation developing, and that is the Houthi rebels fired a ballistic missiles at Israel on Friday that included a cluster bomb that got through the Iron Dome and did some damage. And so Israel has responded with a massive wave of attack, crushing the Houthis, blowing up 2 power plants, hitting one of their main fuel depots, and even hitting a military base less than a mile from the presidential palace. That's going on. Now, in Gaza right now, it's a very intense situation because very close to the hospital there in Gaza City, there was a significant IDF drone attack, and there were 4 or 5 journalists who actually died in this in the warfare. Now, this is not the first time journalists have died there, and a lot of these journalists were everybody forgets this, but there was journalists from the Associated Press and some of the others that were embedded, Al Jazeera, some of them were embedded with the Hamas terrorists that came across on October 7th, 2023, to butcher the innocent Israeli citizens. There were journalists in on that assault, and that doesn't get talked about. Everybody forgets about that. So let's remember, not everybody that says they're is a journalist is actually a journalist. Now, some of these people are, some of them are, and so we're continuing to watch this. It's really amazing what's going on right now around the world. But everybody stay focused. We're getting closer to the end of days, but we have to notice that the Bible told us that there would be signs in the heavens, but there would also be signs on the earth. And there's also coming a great shaking, a great shaking that's in process, guys. It really, really is. And when I say this, besides the earthquakes, as a matter of fact, there was a 6.1. Yeah, 6.1 earthquake hit the Kuril Islands, which is right there off the coast of Russia. But Russia is still shaking quite a bit. And there's been earthquakes in Chile and Afghanistan. Papua New Guinea, there's been a couple strong quakes in Turkey, Indonesia, but mainly Russia. Those aftershocks continue since that 8.8 earthquake. And of course, everybody's concerned about Cascadia and also in that subduction zone off the coast of Washington and Oregon and Northern California, but specifically that underwater volcano where it is the underwater 300 miles off the coast of Oregon, where it is literally the seabed is bowing like a balloon of magma rising, and they're predicting that this thing is going to blow. How bad, we don't know, but they're expecting this underwater volcano to erupt in this year, 2025. So pray, okay? Just pray for one another. We're living, guys, seriously, in the last days. Someone said they absolutely love the shirt I had on yesterday. Thank you, Elaine. I do too. I really love that shirt. Heidi got that for me. Really cool. Anyway, guys, I'll let you go. There's a whole lot more going on. I'll be back with more current world events. Again, here we are. We're only 4 days away. And guys, the map that's going to be released in this webinar from Mike from around the world is incredible information. I'm going to be revealing that to you in this webinar. It is epic. It is epic. And no, it's not the Navy map of 50 years ago or even 10 years ago. Then we brought one, an updated one. No. This is everybody living in North America. If you're in North America, if you're in Canada or the United States, this is huge to understand exactly the very, 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 very concerning situation developing right under your feet. I'll be back with more current world events and how they relate to biblical prophecy. But sometimes from our album, Harmonize and Prophesy, this is a beautiful song called Reading Hemingway.
I see geese flying high above the water, a child fishing with his father in the rain. I can smell blackberry brandy and chocolate-covered candy. I see a soldier crying on a train, falling asleep, reading Hemingway. And the light under the Tiffany lamp glows all night long as I dream with weary wonder, leaving Earth before the dawn. I walked the lonely streets of Paris. I was lost and so afraid, falling asleep, reading Hemingway. I feel the deepness of his weakness. I can taste the brandy sweetness at a roadside Idaho cafe. I can hear old Teddy laughing, Fitzgerald's toes a-tapping to the roaring sounds of yesterday. Falling asleep, reading Hemingway. And the light under the Tiffany lamp glows all night long as I dream with weary wonder, leaving earth before the dawn. I walked the lonely streets of Paris. I was lost and so afraid, falling asleep, reading Hemingway. And the light under the Tiffany lamp glows all night long as I dream with weary wonder, leaving earth before the dawn. I watch the lonely streets of Paris. I was lost and so afraid, falling asleep, reading Hemingway. And a shotgun blast echoed across the page, falling asleep, reading Hemingway.
We'll be back with more current world events and how they relate to biblical prophecy. Give your life to Jesus Christ. We're running out of time.